Today we're doing lesson 2.4, comparing fractions that are the same size or related sizes. We've done the math warm-up. We're now on page 52. It says same size, different numbers. Here's a diagram of fraction strips with two strips added, two blank strips at the bottom for tenths and twelfths. Okay? Are you good? Okay. So we have up at the top one whole, and then 1/2 and 1/2 all the way down. We've got eighth size parts here, and then they want us to do tenths here and twelfths here. Please make sure that you don't work ahead, because I'm going to show you how to do this really neatly. So it's going to make it much easier and make your 10 parts equal, and not have a fraction strip that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, not like that. We want them to be all equal. And what we're going to start with is 10 is 10 an even number or an odd number?
Even.
Even. So that means that you can split it in what?
Twos.
Half perfectly, right? So they split 6 in half and 8 in half. So the first thing I want you to do is draw a straight line all the way down, because 10 and 12 can both be split in half. So just do what I did. Okay? The next thing that you're going to do is, because we're doing 10, we need to do 10 parts here and 12 parts here. Now, I know that 1/5 size part is the same exact size as 2/10 size parts, right? See that? So if you go up here to this line right here, that's where 1/5 is, and where this line is, and this line is, and this line is. The first thing we're gonna do is use those as a guide for our 10th row. So I want you to, and there's some space in between, but this is what I mean. So this line right here, I'm gonna try to make it in the same spot. Then 2/5, I'm gonna try to make it in the same spot. So this line right here, and then this line right here. And then this line right here. Okay. Devin, you getting them? Okay. Now, if I count, I have, I've made these into 5th size parts. So 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 5/5. And how do I go from 5ths to 10ths? Avis?
You split the fifths in half.
Exactly right.
Half of 10 is 5.
Exactly right. We're going to split the 5s in half. So that's the most difficult lines that we have to do on this, is try to see what's half and split them. We don't split these in half because we were modeling this 1/5, so it's already split. So all of our parts on this row are going to be about this big. So I'm going to split this one in half, and this one in half, and this big one in half, and this big one in half. So you need to split this one in half. Very good. Erase this line and scoot it over just a little bit. Okay. Does that make sense? Devin, did you get it? Okay. You get it? All right. Very good. Now, wasn't that a little bit easier than trying to do a bunch of lines and trying to make 4 different lines with them spread the right distance. Okay, now we're gonna do the 12s. And what row do you think I should use as a guide for the 12ths? Jackson? Athena? The 6th row, because 6 doubled is what? 12. So this has 6 parts, so I'm gonna use those to do 6 parts down here and then cut them all in half. All right, so that's what I want you to do. Use the lines on the 6th row, which is this line, this line, this line, and this line. So I'm gonna try to extend this one down and do it right here. Extend this one down, do it right here. Do this one. And this one. And now if you look on that bottom, how many sections do I have? 6. And so to make that 12, I just need to cut all of those in half. You with me?
Yes.
So, okay. Now they want us to label, so all of these we're gonna label as 1/10. All of these we're gonna label as 1/12. So do that really quick. Keep going, Zarella. What do you need, Todd?
I need help.
Okay, I'll be right there. Cut them in half. Okay. Oh. There you go. You should have 12 now. Okay. All right, everybody else good on that?
No.
Okay.
Still not done.
All right. We're going to, I'll leave them up there for you. So number 1 says use a blank strip to show tenths. We did that. Label the parts. We did that. How did you partition the strip? What did we use to help us? Fisher?
We use the other numbers.
Which numbers? Which row?
5 and
The, so for just the tenths, we use the 5th row, right? So, you can give Fisher a point in this. So what you need to write down here is, I used the 5th size parts to help. And which size parts did we use to help us with 12ths? Ari?
the 6.
The 6th. So on number 2, we're gonna write the exact same sentence, only instead of 5th, we're gonna put 6th. I used the sixth size parts to help. What was it, 1/6? What's next? 2/10?
Yeah.
And
3/6.
3/6.
Okay.
Jada says, I noticed that one part of 1/2 is the same size as 2 parts of 1/4. So she's looking at her fraction strip and sees that 1/2 is the exact same size as 2/4. Can you guys see that? How the yellow and the pink are the same size? She also notices that 1/2 is the same size as 3 of the 6th size parts. And you can see that too, that the pink is the same size as the teal over here, okay? She says, so 1/2, 2/4, and 3/6 must be equivalent. Find a fraction that is equivalent to each of the following. So if we go up here, guys, and we're looking for a fraction that is equivalent to 1/6, okay? That means that we are looking for something that shares this line right here, 1/6. Do you see anything that has a line in the exact same spot as 1/6? Zerelda?
12.
Which one? How many 12ths is that?
2.
2 12ths. So, do you guys see that after 2 12-size pieces, that line matches up perfectly with 1/6?
Yes.
And if we checked to see if they're equivalent, what's 6 times 2? 12, and what's 12 times 1?
12.
So they are equivalent, right? So next to 1/6, I want you to write 2 12 down here. Then it says be prepared to explain your reasoning. The reason is because they share a line, right? The same line. Okay, next, 2/10. So 2/10 has a line that's right here, right? 2/10. Do you see another fraction that has a line in the same spot? Jackson?
1/5.
Yes, 1/5. So if I come up here, 1/5, those lines would connect if we extended them, right? So right next to 2/10, we are going to write 1/5. Put that down. And we can check it through cross multiplying. 1/5. 10 times 1,
10.
5 times 2.
10.
So we're good to go. The last one is 3/3. And the 3/3 line was right here. We got all kinds, right, Jackson? So which one do you want to use?
2 halves.
2 halves. What's 3 times 2?
6.
And 2 times 3?
6.
So 2 halves will work. And like I said a few minutes ago, all of the fractions that have the same number on top and bottom would be equal to 3/3. Okay? Because they all mean what?
1 whole.
Yes. Very good. All right. Okay, looking at the next page, fractions on number lines. Here are some number lines. The point on this number line shows 1/2. Okay, and you can see 1/2 is right in the middle of the number line. Label the tick marks on each number line. The very first thing that we have to do in order to label number lines is what? What do you do very first thing? Athena?
You count the spaces in between the lines.
Yes, nice job. Give her a point. Avis, Athena. You gotta count the sections. How many sections it's split into? So here's 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections. That means all of the fractions on this number line are gonna have a 3 on the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Macy, put your feet down. Okay. Now, to see what the top number is, it's how many times we jump. So if we go from 0 to here, how many jumps is that?
1.
1. If we go to here, how many jumps do we make?
2.
2. So we're going to put a 1 on top of this one and a 2 on top of this one. And we could also make this one 3/3, which we know is the same as 1 whole. Okay? Good? Okay. Now, what does our denominator, our bottom number, need to be on the next number line? All hands should be up right now. What should be our denominator on the next number line? Emma. Yes, because there's 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, 4 sections. Give Emma a point, Ava. Okay, perfect. So 4 on the bottom of all of these. Now, to figure out what goes on top is how many jumps from 0. 1 jump is 1/4. If we start at 0 and go to the middle one, it's 2/4, which we know is equivalent to what?
1/2.
1/2, good. And then to fill this one in, we go 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps.
And then
Todd, what you need? We're not there yet. Put your hands down unless you have a question. Okay. On the last one, how many sections are there? Macy? 5. So our denominator on all of these tick marks needs to be a 5. Good. Okay. How many, what's our numerator on this one?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Very good. Okay, you guys are getting this down.
Then
All right, Zerelda, don't blur it out. Okay, now, that seems pretty straightforward. But as always, we're going to make it more complicated. So,
yes.
if you get that part, we're in good shape. Now let's go down here. Put your hand down. I'm trying to teach a math lesson. Okay. Suppose you are to locate 1/6, 1/8, and 1/10 on these number lines up here. Which number line would you use for each of those fractions? So if we're looking at them, Todd, and we're trying to figure out where we would find 1/6, 1/8, and 1/10. We can use these number lines for that.
Oh, yes.
Let's start with 1/6. which number line do you think would be best to find 1/6? Colton?
The 5th one.
Nope. Zerelda?
The 3.
The 3, because if we double 3, what do we get?
Six.
So you'd only have to do 2 jumps.
If we double 3, we get 6. So that means
We have to double the number.
we double the number line,
Yeah.
okay? So instead of just 3 sections, we're gonna turn it into 6 sections, okay?
Yay.
All right. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cut this in half, cut this in half, cut this in half. Now,
You have 6.
I've got 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, 4 sections, 5 sections, 6 sections. So this number would be what?
1/6.
What would this one be?
2/6.
2/6, which is equivalent
To
1/3. You guys are doing awesome.
Did we write that?
So 2/6 is the same size as 1/3. Okay, yes, we're gonna write 1/6 right here. And in just a minute, I'm gonna give all of you an opportunity to tell me which number line to use for in this kind of situation. What about 1/8? Okay, so we found 1/6. Now, if we're looking at these number lines, figuring out where we would look to find an 8th, where would that be? Evan?
4th.
Yes, because if we have 4 and we double it, we now have 8. So we're gonna, good, Evan, give Evan a point, Angus. Okay, all of these, turn them down, to the right. All of these need to be, cut in half. So now I've got, instead of just 4 sections, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections. So 1/8 would be right here. This is kind of how measuring tapes work, like the measuring tapes that builders and construction workers and stuff use. Because they have multiple numbers all on the same measuring tape.
And you have to be a good, and you have to be good at math to be a construction worker because they do a lot of math.
Absolutely.
A lot of measuring.
Are you getting this down?
Yeah, because they have to measure a bunch of stuff.
Absolutely.
Like how long it would be or else it wouldn't fit.
Measure twice and cut once is the saying. Okay? We're almost finished. Okay. All right. Now, where would you find 1/10? Where would that, or where would be the best place to find 1/10? Harbor? On the 5 row, because what happens when we double 5, Harbor? It becomes
10.
Yes. Very good. So give Harbor a point, Avis. All right. Splitting all of these, and now we have 10 sections. So the very first one would be 1/10. Very nice job, guys. Okay. Okay. What we're gonna do now is at the bottom, there's a bunch of fractions, and I'm gonna add to it so that I have enough for every student to tell me where you would find, which of these number lines you would find that fraction on. So, I'm gonna stop the video so we can go through these together. And then your assignment today is gonna be page 66, but we're just gonna do the top half of the page, question number 9, A and B. So that's for